For what it's worth, this is how I see it. Okay. When you elevate yourself up out of the planetary body and up out of the cosmos and you try to inhabit whatever's there, you realize that, like, okay, if like, we have the ability to create these things called a cosmos, and hey, I don't think I've always said I'm not coming back here to Earth. Like as I've gotten older, I've started to understand like reincarnation better because we were physical reincarnation. The planetary matter that is here, the Earth's surface, um, is specifically made of dead things. It's really weird in minerals and stuff. It's just dead stuff. It's very funny and nobody really likes to talk about it. Like the earth itself is just the dead bodies and dead matter from trees and plants and humans and animals and our poo for billions of years. Ever since we started eking out, we scratched our way out. You don't, here's the thing. If you believe in a trinity, you can believe in multiple trinities at the same time, right? I don't see why not. So one of mine is that that old thing about man's made of mud. Yeah, yeah, we are because we're body all comes from earth and it's limited by what is available, right? It is Legos here, molecular Legos. Here's what's available. Here are your options. These chemicals are, if you add too much of this, you're going to get, you know, whatever. Point being, if you are a creative that could create cosmoses and you're mixing up batters to throw out to create whatever, and then you're going to go down and inhabit your creation, I think we're trying to find the bugs. We're trying to work the bugs out in the psychological piece of where we start to perceive our consciousness, of where we start to perceive our place in the universe. And, as terrifying as the behavior on planet Earth is, can you imagine if for real, like aliens showed up and started to enslave us and like beat us into submission and like chained us and made us do whatever? Okay, so that was a reality on Earth for some people that chose that reality. If you're here as a victim, like I was sent here, I was born onto this planet and I'm a victim. Well, then that's where you're at. But if you choose to believe differently, then, it's really all up to you, as far as I can tell. And in fact, I think that's our job is to fully explore the corner of the world that we're given to explore and have conversations with it about it with the thing that created us. This is so gross, but well, it's people think it's, I don't know what you'll think. When I was in school, the boys were really into this. It was probably a VCR tape. It was in the boys' um, locker room. At lunchtime, they would eat lunch in the locker room and hang out. And it was called Faces of Death. And they'd be like, "Oh, come on in, watch your stream." I'm like, absolutely not. No. I have a very active imagination. I don't need to see anything. I can imagine it perfectly in my mind as if I have been there before. I don't want to see any of it. But I'm not afraid to bear witness to it either. But not in that way. And there's some bugs in the code, in the psychological code of humanity. And it just is. It's nobody's fault. It's just part of the way it is. But it's our job as detectives of ourselves and the world around us to throw a red flag, because people are getting hurt. And if they don't want to take the hurt ones out of the game, or, triage, I'm not going to watch the game anymore. I'm not going to watch human beings. Can you imagine in a wrestling match if they just suddenly was like, oh, you could just beat that person to a pulp. You could put a blah, 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 blah. Like rip them apart. I mean, what would you think if that happened? I have heard reports of like high school kids trolling each other and hazing and bullying, going to the point where they're killing each other. And then when they get hauled in, they're like, what do you mean? I don't understand. So I'm assuming that they've disassociated from their reality through media, through video games, through whatever they're doing, to the point that they aren't even tethered to reality in any way, hardly at all. And so, what does being tethered to reality mean? To you? Now, I really am going to work. Bye.